guys, it's John from First Drop Wines, and today we're showcasing and tasting our single vineyard range from the Eden Valley. We make 6 different single vineyard wines from the Barossa Floor and the Eden Valley. The Eden Valley wines are called Cold Sweat, and they got these really cool copper labels on them, which depicts the broken rocks and the terroir, if you like, of the really harsh conditions of the Eden Valley. The Eden Valley sits on the east side of the Barossa. It's higher in terms of elevation, a lot cooler in terms of climate, and a slightly higher rainfall. But there's not a lot of irrigation up there, so it's all natural rainfall that we have to rely on. So the viticulture and the grape growing is very marginal. And what we see as a result is a really elegant and delicate expression of Shiraz, more Syrah than Shiraz. So, and also from a winemaking perspective, we treat the wine, the grapes a little bit differently in the winery, in that we only have a really gentle plunging and pumping over and draining, returning regime of maybe twice a day. And then aging is in large format 500 litre French oak puncheons, of which 50% are new and 50% are 1 year old. There's 3 different expressions, or 3 different single vineyard wines. One's from Wilton, one's from Craneford, and one's from Macolta. 3 viticulturally diverse subregions in the Eden Valley that showcase Shiraz in 3 different lights. Wilton is quite sort of ethereal and quite savoury, very restrained, looks a little bit more like Nebbiolo, if you like, than Shiraz. Craneford is quite spicy, quite minty and herbaceous. It almost looks like tomato bush on the nose, and it's really kind of like granularly tannins. And then there's Macolta in the far north of the Eden Valley, and that's a little bit more richer and brooding, a bit more powerful, a bit more sort of intense, but still in that elegant Syrah mode. So 3 single vineyard wines that are beautifully packaged, quite unique, make a fantastic 3-pack gift. And if you decant them for a few hours and serve them, you'll be rewarded for your patience. Current release is 2020, so they're 4 years old on release. And if you're a collector, or you have a friend who's a collector, or having a dinner party, you want to show something that's outstanding and quite atypical from the Barossa, these are fantastic. So 2020 First Drop Cold Sweat Shiraz from a single vineyard in the Eden Valley, in the sub-region of Wilton. Wilton sits about 420 metres above sea level, 410 metres above sea level. It's the coldest of the 3 sites that we source our Cold Sweat range from. This wine is quite sort of restrained and ethereal. It's a very atypical expression of Australian Shiraz, and especially Barossa Shiraz. It's quite earthy, it's quite savoury, and even on the nose is quite restrained. You don't see nearly as much fruit from this vineyard, where it's more sort of savoury expressions and a little bit of vegetal and mineral. It's a beautiful wine, needs a decant, but fantastic with light meat dishes like veals, and delicately cooked chicken. Fantastic with a dinner party where you want to bring something along that's special. First Drop Cold Sweat Wilton. 2020 Cold Sweat Shiraz from Craneford. Craneford is a little sub-region in the Eden Valley that we push the vinous boundaries of winemaking at, and quite marginal site. Produces very little fruit. Low yielding vines produce this really sort of granular and savoury expression of Syrah. It's fantastic. After a decant, you start to see those really sort of spicy textured expressions of Shiraz. Would marry really well with most pasta dishes, but also slightly richer meat dishes, or even game dishes like duck The Crankford Vineyard sits about 450 metres above sea level, and as I said, it's quite a marginal site. So produces fruit of great complexity and a really unique expression of Eden Valley Syrah. So the third out of the three single vineyard wines from First Drop Cold Sweat range is from Macolta. Macolta is in the far north of the Eden Valley. The vineyard sits on a ridge of deep clay over some minerals. Whilst it's far north, you'd think it'd be a little bit warmer, but it's actually freezing cold out there, and produces again low yielding Syrahs. But this time it's a little bit sort of richer in terms of its palate weight. Has a little bit more power. It's a little bit more brooding, and it's getting more towards a typical Eden Valley Syrah, where it's got a bit more might and power. Again, needs a decant. 2 or 3 hours in the decanter will reward you with a delicious expression of Eden Valley Syrahs.